media platforms there and some
I would say why okay I from weekend na besi ene a lot has happened bebre akoso so far then akoso okuremu ye wi a yahwe ye top say group no so
I think that various media platforms there and some they because from Kotoka to Africa to wine but I think that there is something a person may draw Ghana for attention to okay His Excellency KKD Kwasi Dakwa or then the foreign affairs a minister ne Ghana Armed Forces 48 Engineers Regiment at some supporter command Cuba for and I think that is something as a boy of Basso said who say another country like Cuba which had there is a ties between money
so in the urban health sector
over the years there has been a number of collaboration existing between Cuba and Ghana or more disaster Ghana yede soldier for other support just to help them rebuild no I think that is something very encouraging and Ghana your position because we've always been the shining star on the continent the black race open Nankabebia the foundation the Panka Ghana yetimi stand helping hands to yenwianoma I think say oni minister ni dis anema we anim there were cultural exchanges omutimi okoche your friends prime minister na there say be ya yebetumi also our investors from that part of the world to this particular country I think there is something very commending you looking forward say the collaboration between Ghana and Cuba betumi grow now over the years so when we say no hospital I remember most of the doctors coming down they were from Cuba. They were helping in several places because there are some of the communities opposed to Ghana doctor kwa osionko.
That's what here now no health minister
exactly. So some of these Cubans no ba on care baby they're ready to serve and that has always been way. So I think that this will deepen that particular ties a bit me so let me commend them for that great effort. Going forward say some of these things will also come back at Ghana for so you be some for the time to come.
Okay. All right. Yes, shall say your first topic. Yes, share. And I'm not paying. A lot has gone on. Kuronimu, but any nyina na yetenasia ye betimi adi hu nkomonti ye share dia ehun hia no asem when e wose ye ehun discussions na afei ya to ye bo na ya chichirimu over the weekend the new patriotic party ekoyi flag bearer and the person of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said the nyina yenim dada se ono ano mo de ne beba no nyame ya adom so mo ono ano mo de ne baaye na former president Nana Danko Akufo-Addo na oka say oh Bawumia de onim no pa na said we nim no enim na dwen enim ne character no owo doma Ghana on ebetimi aboa kuru no na o hwe ni mu se nyame ya adoma 2028 de Bawumia ebetimi edi nkunim yimene wa follow NPP promise ya kosi 31st ya afedie obviously ni dada no mo commentary after that just could be from the Kyei say on be kabo mu dawuru and run share you can dey Japan KSM was said you for about to biem and minority leader minority kokko no what the president say ade no wa careful we twa no and say do dika just misreaction after the election.
I think we've been keenly following whatever happens within the MPP, have key interest in because as sentinels seeking to protect the foundations of our democracy, it is our job just to look across the political divide. I need to ensure things are done right within the description. Democracy over the world, say they sit here. Any your friend is saying jump over beer, the SSS will come back to affect Ghanaians. Is the reason why you're so much keen about happenings in the MPP. But it's sad. So we will be aware who the political party in the past. Now we're trying to tradition. Now we're dear Omudisio Moniso. And you look at what the MPP has now degenerated to become recently under Akufo-Addo and the leadership and the subsequent the leadership now. I'm sure, sir, you notice there has been a considerable change within the MPP in terms of the fabric of the party, in terms of the texture, and in terms of everything. Now, I make say MPP for young realizes the major challenge, the major crisis the party is facing right now, a brand crisis. Brand crisis. Okay. The party, the institution, MPP, Ghana 4 have lost absolute trust and confidence in the party because of Kwanya Akufo-Addo befa party no, Kwanya offers or manage party no, and how the party led the particular government no, Ghana the so I leave a certain scar on the conscience of Ghanaians. The very moment the word MPP is mentioned, it evokes that. You have tough memories. I Kyei Ghana for Yana Mamu Bonnie or Mufam. So I was looking at the situation where the party will spend considerable time. Omubetimi I working on this particular saying a brand crisis in a party as of now. That is why we were recommending said they needed to do the bottom up approach to patch these differences. The Neemana Ankoye at the grassroots, the rank and file of the party, the Neema Ankoye, they will be able to amend some of these differences. So by the time I'm build it up, able drew a top on it, yeah. Now when you're complete way, you could see say there is this synergy running through the lines of the party. But no, Omono, they were so determined say they needed to install Bawumia because he is the candidate of the shadow establishment because now MPP is not in power. But there is an establishment in the shadow, whichever way you want to say it. Okay. So that shadow establishment, since that the Bawumia still should go. And this it was engineered just to ensure that Bawumia will be installed. So it's not the case that he was elected. He was installed like a chief. Because the structure, it didn't look so overt. But I want to see any logical analysis. You come to the realization that current party executives in the recent past were in support of Bawumia. These people had considerable influences in the various constituencies. And this is a Jasi and Kotoa, they will lose that influence. So Abra Munyan Koyeno, you saw more, not the influence no more, young rely on it, na young find elected Bawumia. Because you can say your bottom, your fence are down upper. You know, this present executive who have considerable influence on the constituencies will lose their grips. And yes, sir, there is a likelihood we may lose. This is the reason why they race against all odds, common sense, reasoning, and decided, sir, despite the many challenges confronting the party at the moment, they waived the offense that conventional playbook. The party reorganization, the template, almost fine, almost talking baby, and they decided to go their own way. But first of all, let me commend them. Sir, in Western, I check na who say MPP acquire elections. I in Tokwamba.
Manko.
Yanka will be say, Becha will be way, way, much more. For the first time, my sure say there were many incidents of violence. I buy so on that particular score, and I think so much surprise you be because violence in recent times has been one of the characteristics of MPP when it comes to internal elections. They even extended it to national elections because 2020 is still fresh on our minds. 2024 still fresh on our minds. The scars and the violence in Techiman quite clear. So whenever MPP goes into the polls, violence follows. So this time around, the violence I think that we need to commend them. And then the other side is the candidate that came up saying to about Mama Kachro say, so we have party now, a degenerate party na bubu, and they don't see the need to fix it because Ghana for answer number 2 about my yano, they need to trust you first. But it's to say the MPP is facing what I call a FRDB double whammy. First of all, party na Kasano suffer credibility crisis. The party MPP lack credibility. Then you go ahead to elect a candidate who also lack credibility. So any double jeopardy no because party na Kasano they fail to work on the brand. And Bawumia as a person, Nipa Akufo-Addo Kofana buy so or Baba fix the economy. The gentleman came and the economy worked in his face right there. Economy, the statistics, the indicators, all the numbers clearly give an indication say the gentleman could not manage the economy. He failed. It's the reason why at some point in time, no, he left the economy and he was talking about the IT. So today, so what okofasa ni panoba na wunti brandeno. This is a guy who was labeled as a liar. As a liar, Obi Nano Canada Japan. The last video here, he labeled Bawumia as a liar. So today he is calling for unity. Said they are going to support Weno. I wonder the kind of message he's going to give out to people, because you have labeled the gentleman as a liar, somebody and how are you going to change your tongue and tell people Ghana for a liar to lead this particular country? So that is a crisis they are going to face. So for me, Bawumia, the fate is sealed because they have failed to do what they are supposed to do by making sure that cleaning it up. And in terms of ideas, he has also proven that he's not rich in terms of ideas. Yeah, because so we have a Ghana Cyei. Now what we've gone through in recent time, the crisis are not so back on and Ghana for whom now will be our now major priority. Whatever back be a Christopher Domako Israel Mamako Empire. It means a idea. Still that childish infantile political winning the whole team, because Ghana are not interested in Yemen for being found called Israel. Those things, even Cathedral Cry is in and Ghana for rose against it. Because they realize in Sabia nim some meneba sorana ne ba nya juma nye ma meneba sorana ne ba enya juma wa we school tifie job opportunities in your the every year juma kwa dey ntimi ntua ne kaye na watam of mine sikasa wo kwa kosi ba bia kwa kobom paye na bisa wo sa dan na wo kwa kosi is it going to solve our problems? You understand? So some of these events of religious indoctrination over the years and a man for Africans crime is conveniently a smuggle into our politics, because that is the aspect Ghanaians become very weak. And they will just capitalize on those weaknesses and take advantage of them. No, na Ghana for because me same kramoni na metizongwa. I prefer so be ma me ba djuma ye. I prefer say me ba benya scholarship akwa abonte akosuan dia na so be ko legu akosuan dia nu bi ama ono so be krachi ni dan so be tam me say wo di sika sponsor me say me nko meka. The same way has to do with Christians. So as a leader, no, you have to be reasonable enough to identify these areas and know what is best for your people. But as a leader, Obi Obedi vice president for 8 good years, I will leave a very terrible mark on the conscience of Ghanaians. Our failure was so overwhelming to the extent that Ghana for who are they see failure. When Ghana for see you, they see a liar. When Ghana for see you, they see incompetence. Now Obabima, you need to rebrand yourself. So Bawumia is not branded. MPP today hasn't been able to work on the brand. So there is that fusion, incompetence versus lying, a whole lot of we are coming together. And you think at this time Ghana for anyate, I rise above the shoulders of ethnocentric politics, that tribal and fraternal politics, and Ghana for do margin politics. Do you think you will be convenient enough say Ghana for to about? So for me, I think that what happened there over here, that Bawumia's fate was sealed. To lead the MPP, because that is what they wanted. Because they also realized that the alternative was quite scary. Because Canada, Japan, so we can quite offer kasa boom 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 boom. After elections, you crowd had a reaction and as a former man. The MPP felt that there was no way they could sell him to the people of this particular country. My catcher said Kennedy has a strength in other areas, but and your presidency and your leadership. Kennedy, I'm told, is a very kind person of woman for an as a forum, but presidency leadership has nothing to do with being kind and as a forum. It is about rich in ideas, very, your friend saying, Obiotimi, in terms of temperament, you are very intelligent, not somebody wearing baby's temperament. To a woman, know what you know. You have more mind. So MPP did that particular calculation and realized Ken will not be an option. And I didn't see Bawumia any contest behind the election that they went. Because some of the candidates, you know, not Omumia to give him a contest. Because Kennedy, they social media when you vote in because within the MPP now they were not ready to give him that particular chance. And then the other candidates, you know, and just like a reconciliation, Juma, and then Alan, they said, impress on him to come back because Alan has some credibility in his fold. And to me, Ghana for because he hasn't been there. The Akufo-Addo government, even though he was part of it, but at the tail end of it, there was this disconnection. He could have capitalized on that. Obviously, because he didn't have money, they were going to vote for him. So, the best person to lead the MPP at this particular time, Nenkaya Line Chairman saying. So just imagine MPP presenting Alan in the 2028 elections and NDC presenting a new candidate. It's going to be a hot contest. You understand? But Bawumia is known. And you see, even though, this analysis for, even though MPP are Bawumia and Tem, so now the candidate is known. But today they are facing two crises. Integrity crisis, credibility crisis, both brand of the party and then the candidate that they have elected. The NDC doesn't have a candidate yet. But the advantage is that John Mahama government today is performing. So as long as John Mahama performs well, he's building a credibility for whoever the candidate will be. So that is what I'm saying, sir. And the Ghana for are looking at who they can trust and integrity. Even though NDC the candidate there, but any performance via Papa John Mahama, or build a buffer in terms of integrity for whoever will be elected. So when that person is elected, all that he needs to do is to assume that credibility. And then he will be ahead of whoever the MPP has elected, because you still lack credibility. Because people will be looking at the performance of the government. How well, how good. So if government a failure, it will go against whoever that will inherit. And if the government performs so well, you may not know whoever that is coming, but once the person comes, that credibility buffer that the president through the government has built, will be conferred on that person. Because don't forget, the election campaign will be done on the strength of Mahama's government plus a little of what the new person is coming to offer. Because modern elections are about trust. Who can I trust? Why not me rely on him? Why not to the idea obey the mepe amame? What I say? And that modern politics, I evolve what transcended ama yababe do that particular stage where trust has become a critical component of leadership. Independent trust So I think that is the challenge the MPP is going through, but they don't see it. And you see, I'm saying party not they are not even ready to take tough corrective measures. And Rami who statement where the number bonti I say won't to miss it. National chairman. So you shouldn't be surprised. You could see clearly that Kufuor's signature is still on the party. That violence, this is a party that in the past was branded as a party of intellectuals. And the whole MPP is going to be led by Wuntumi. You know his politics. The way I see Kasa, that a childish brandishment of West to gum 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 gum. This is the party. This is somebody who is seeking to lead a party. His inclusion alone is an insult to everybody, because Ashanti region has always been a secured basket of vote for the MPP. For the first time, NDC Bawura under him. Then you see this is a gentleman of the good Kotoka TV. So a church a Japadia wire Kotos Sports car bet 20 Koguni chairman for when he was coming, people knew he run a car or so by security, not chairman for Diana Kumasi. So, dear Ben, see, it's because of this politics. Where you call your beard or namano. What I say. So, such a world, and you're the bracket. You got it cheap, and your politics, I be a security. What are some Americans? So, some of these, and I'm saying, more hunting, these people still find the strength to go and sit on TV and tell people, say, my bomb, you really? The sort of exposure and opportunity you've gotten through this government, and then as a forum, so you are not better than anybody. That is what they don't get it. You understand? So for me, I think you elevated politics, to a level where intellectualism is really, where discipline, where men of higher conviction and ideas are allowed to lead politics. You will not wake up a day and be seeing these jokers running around wanting to be president. Yente Kroman Akwaya or turn a Greek ministry to a body. President. Yes, how low Akufo-Addo's presidency lower the bar in the eyes of people, what we call the presidency in this particular country. The aura of respect, and any idiot at all with money will wake up and say, oh, me too, I want to be president because after I have money, my sissy me dying. Now, when I can't say dying, was the president. And Kauko US, ya was Sikafo, Elon Musk. Already the only billionaire on the planet, the world across 1 trillion. Same by American president.
Yeah.
What are some? It's not about money. It is not about how many wealth you build. It is about leadership is a reserve zone for few. Everybody can be a politician, but few can be leaders. You understand them? And you should be rich in ideas. How you relate to people, how are you take a center stage dealing and solving problems. That is leadership. It has nothing to do about me sit down where you sleep on my boy Japadiana on a video be. What I say? So I think that if the narrative is changing from that particular way, now you put a premium on wisdom, reasoning, logic, common sense, and there, and a bit me boy me pay your mind baby. But MPP now party now suffer credibility crisis. Make us and catch up about brand MPP. So that brand is going to be led by characters like Woon to me. Then you can imagine, say, brand na egusu ayese no.
I'll say after consulting his maker.
It's funny. Now you can't blame him because that is what the party has become. Because go back to 2000 in his widest dream on the MPP. If you go back to 2010, I'm not sure. But this is what the party has become. Because under Akufo-Addo, my culture said intellectualism was substituted for idiocy. So all the renowned individuals of all of them were booted out of the party. Just mention names. All of them were thrown out of the bus. And then these guys, these unruly characters, these reckless characters, take the center stage and they were just running the show. Boom, 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 sir. Now, you think Ghana for better trust you. I want the MPP to be good. I want them to be stronger, so that our democracy will also be stronger, but not this kind of way. And now, if you look at all facets of the MPP, the party is in crisis. The flag bearer has integrity, credibility crisis. You go back to parliament and you see a Afenyo Markin always morphing into some kind of a comedian in parliament, raising unnecessary cheap kind of issues. Ghana for consistently peeved about happenings in parliament. Now another issue by your more about Kotoka. Where from this you're saying Kotoka issue? Because the debate to get Kotoka's name on that particular airport changed, and so if you go back to history, people have been agitating just say Abambia and financial interest. Yes, and that particular way, it makes sense in the sense say the gentleman Kotoka, there is no Voltairean one linking to Kotoka because of the terrible in this country. The guy betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, and if you read Kwame Nkrumah's book, he made reference to the fact that he was betrayed by people he trusted so much. The day Kwame Nkrumah was leaving Ghana to Hanoi, mediation on the invitation of the Chinese the premier at the time, they now all call on a Kotoka picture. Not to know is a plan when say you to know. So that guy was nothing more than the traitor. Now say Nidia Kwakoto such a monument so Obi Frabontino or Bagana, the first thing that comes to mind the Kotoka International Airport. And Obi a bit interested in history, might want to find out who that Kotoka guy is. You end up say he was a traitor. Kwame Nkrumah is a well-known figure. He betrayed Kwame Nkrumah. Then the next question is, why do you have his name here? And then the story becomes something different. You understand? So for me, say you Kotoka dear Frisadinaswa, it's quite right. The mere fact over the years, I have listened to a lot of people making argument, and that's why you need a seeker. No. You see, Afenyo Markin, that guy, I don't know what is wrong with him. You see, he's just interested in doing just silly politics in parliament because MPP as a political party at Draghi Rollins at the Neko Court in 1995, I think 31st December. Case a popular your friends say other way a case if you read online you will get it. Their argument was that Yaba into 1992 yaji democracy atom so among say Rollins are buying time of mine seekers or the celebrity coup. And Sadia impugn Article 3, your friends say, 3-4 of the 1992 Constitution. As Ghana for Kutu say anything relating to Kubiano, as a sororitia. And this a buying no de Ghana Sika air celebrity coup there, or more as an MPP, or more Draghi Rollins at the court. Emma Supreme Court to himself anything was linked to coup d'etat. because your democratic rule, no, we need to cut ties with it. So the same person from the same political tradition today is telling you, say, somebody who was a key architect of a coup d'etat that removed Nkrumah, that person name should be on our way. That person is not a joker. That person is not double standard. Is it not mere emotions? And Asamna Bami opposition need to say something. That tells you say he doesn't even understand the tradition and what the MPP over the years, has been fighting for. Because they stood against 31st December. That was a cool celebration. Cool, they will not allow it. Today, you want a hero of a coup d'etat that deposed the most renowned president in the history of this particular country, Kwame Nkrumah, to have his name on it? No. And I'm also not in agreement with the majority leader when he says it should be Accra. Your friend say, I said Accra International Airport. Accra for what? I think Kwame Nkrumah's name, that is the fear. They need to put it there for it to be Kwame Nkrumah's name, because Kwame Nkrumah is all over. Whenever you come to Africa, you will hear the name Kwame Nkrumah at the airport. From there, you can go to his museum, and then the history continues, because I believe, sir, history must be projected in a very good way. That we tell the positive aspect. Yes, you can tell the negative aspect. If you go to Germany today, nobody wants to hear the name Adolf Hitler. Because the name Adolf Hitler invokes negative, bad, terrible passion within a typical German. They don't. Nobody wants to. Okona will be Kasana Osta. Adolf Hitler history, but then they will tell you to pause. Because this is a foreigner who took advantage of the weakness and hyperinflation at the time. Adolf Hitler, what people don't know is on free Germany. He's an Austrian who took advantage after the First World War and through conspiracy in as far as all of the Germany didn't we are seeing now to the extent say Germany became the enemy of the world. It took America and the Allied forces to intervene. And then Lord Trump call that for so catch him say, "Nyame na agemo na nya American ka mu nyina you speak a little German." And I no cre. Send come one depose Adolf Hitler and can we say obi aka German. Ko nsemu na no di no, he wanted to conquer the world. Now or impose or no the rule on the world, and definitely you have no other option than to speak German. And can now call UK and come nyina ka German and as a form. What I say. So story no, you tell the positive side, you don't tell the negative side. So to say that Accra International Conference, then there is no need to change it. I think it should be Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. Finito, we move on. We tell the positive part of our history and also tell young people, say, I have a sense of patriotism and nationalism. You tell people, say what sacrifice for Omaya, your country will never forget you. Because Omaya to me, nobody fight for the nation. We are fighting for our stomach and our political parties. We don't care what happens to the country after we leave power. You understand? So we must begin to send a long message via history like this to tell people, say, sacrifices. Kwame Nkrumah, we have many years in here. If still we are remembering him, it means so we are the papa in there. Now so be an Kyei. Then in the future you'll be remembered. These jokers today rise up in parliament and say Kotoka's name should not be changed. Yanti Kroma na kufa ado kwasa CK tadam ne sanse mununu ko Gugu University so. Obia University dormitory kran 1 CB. He has the gut and the infantry to go to UDS. Any other university, Rollins in the sea, your mind way, or MPP, people who led MPP and have no significance in Ghana political scheme of affairs. Because he can't them about Brabai, we know. Apart from MPP, Brabai no boy. What time did they go to State University? So then, yes, appear in council, appear in the scheme of political affairs of Ghana. The relevance in the side, apart from MPP. Now, what time did they go to university? So thank God, so my years are doing universities. You did. Akufo-Addo did this thing. Afenya market to complain here. Adena na oyedo. Nasa binyansa bi anim. But at the time they even wanted to change University of Ghana. It took some.
Go back to it.
Yes.
Almost say you change Kotoka there. Ani ayensanfa JB dan kwana.
They are jokers. They are jokers. And America say CK Tadam na other universities no change here. They didn't see here. So for me, I think say we must face it raw. There is no need to say Accra International. I know Munja na Kotoka na. Sa Accra no mo kandia. They should leave it at Kotoka. It should be Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. As simple as that. Maybe they are scared of the backlash by Kwame Nkrumah is a figure who, in the mind of every proper Ghanaian, appreciate what he did. And for me, every foreigner be or Ghana be the first point we the airport. whether he decides to go anywhere, he will embrace the name Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
The founder of this particular country as the record state. So for me, I think there is no contradiction around it. All the noise, the unnecessary noise Afenyo Makin and Co are doing about it, I've seen on the other side, Kojo Opon Nkrumah say he supported it and so forth, because that has been the consistent position of the MPP.
Yeah.
Anything cool, they said they don't want it per the 31st December case. So today, if Afenyo Makin is in parliament protesting and raising certain childish infantile argument about your friends say our force should rise because omo nipa ba akope why na voter region all linking who to Kotoka why
that
the same way no German want to link himself to Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Or even Austria what is Austria for? Sorry say now Adolf Hitler for your crew that because he did a very terrible thing and nobody want to link himself to the same way nobody in the voter region make around say recent denomination say Kotoka free voter.
No free voter.
Yes, but nobody in the voter region and link associating so there is nobody in the voter region who is going to rise against it. You understand? And Nkrumah gave birth to voter region. If there is anybody to celebrate her, Kwame Nkrumah brought voter region to Ghana. South Trans-Togoland, it took Kwame Nkrumah, and these people resisted it. They say Ghana no should be Ashanti region and a coast Hankwan. It was through Kwame Nkrumah's intervention on the voter region and the northern region, but can't Ghana home. Ghana ye be away. And to say voter region for only any allegiance to anybody. It is Kwame Nkrumah, not Kotoka. So this is childish argument for a whole minority leader to stand on his feet in parliament and be throwing this, your friend saying, argument to say, or your voter and then so Sani na dia and no one would do one say between so mudi agu near so yes sorry I tell you near fan yeah na to ministry be we are near fan Ken Ofori Attah we gane yan fan to minister of your friend saying finance no swear what I say such things should not be tolerated. So for me I think that it's in order the bill that is going to parliament should state categorically without fear.
Yeah,
so it should be Kwame Nkrumah International Center. This Accra International Center is highly unnecessary. If that is the reason why they are changing it, I think they to stop and maintain the Kotoka. Na yenye ntena ho. Sabaye na yehu say history no yamwa tempted. Then we want people to read the negative side of our history. That is up to us. But for me, if there should be any change, it should be Kwame Nkrumah. Aside that, other than that, we should just stop it.
Okay. Right, Mama Shaki was a me at Kaimo comments and a crab, Yania, second topic, and so Ebenezer Motor say, Mama, please, I will organize demonstration against you when you allow Mr. Ivan to close at 10 a.m. But sure, do close to 10.
I'm not time living count.
Momba time living count. Mombra me sponsors in to airtime ni bin count. Yes, idea. Or say I started waiting for him since midnight. Now midnight na maba adwuma. And I bet also say keep being you, Ivan. You are unique. Kwazo Fiagbe. Or say Ivan, don't worry. President Mahama is building new airport and name it after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And no, yeah, dear here. They are more than one nana. They can't crowd you. Ye national one. Nelson Gomelesio. Hey, Facha Mr. Mabo Dineti. I was say, oh my God, Ivan is absolutely brilliant. Paddy Didon was say, hey, this guy. All right, and you Kofi don't pray or say people are accusing Napo for saying Bawumia is the wisest man in MPP. And Kufuado always said same years ago. And I say, Asema Napo kwa kaya wato bombui. And now because in another car the same thing. Okay, nyamini embo afo. That's story no te.
Yeah, me te.
Osi nyansani ba akopa wo party ni mu. Any cabinet. Say or the ala mu nyina akora fra including na.
Na make say Napo there. Osan kofa ne bi ma no no because the guy is a political liability. Yeah.
Right, and your second topic, so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our NIB say, we can be a night. Some ben cran, me and I be kind confuse me. A BNI, while that BNI say, one more encore investigate, Kofi for soon cancer. Some or say scholarship secretariat, where one would NPP Nibia. womo akotua sika amiyama na scholarship proud to say obeka asem no na ono say ba no ye recruitment nominate de keka ho a NPP time no mo ton na omoton ya mo no kro betimi aka say scholarship secretariat yukura woni NPP ni bia wakwa akoto bi wo ho eno na asafoje ba be yi ano say even country na all kan ho asem kra no President Mahama say e ka ne niam a ewo ho nti omo suspending any scholarship or mobile awarded to that particular country, which is UK. Enti asem no nani aje ho say president say bomo any investigation. Enti innocent.
Yeah. I think that we are Ghana sometimes that we are culture said the quality of leadership reflected the well-being of that country. Enti all your mind now put two jokers in place. That is the crisis kind of leadership that you get. Abrante your kwatena TV so say radio so all keka ansem we nyina no ma wurem fi say watena baby as a CEO pen now be say won say etira kasa etire be na now the yes CEO no because some all kan nyina akwa say panyini wearing a baby's brain out the nam kon some all kan nyansa bi anim and he was even fumbling.
Yeah,
he could not pinpoint exact because OTTV so now will make categorical allegations about corruption. You should be able to speak to fact.
Yeah, you
cannot just make mere allegations, that's supposition and conjecture without being able to link it to actual thing. You can see a investigation.
Yeah,
and some now can clearly from his demeanor you could see say abra present and poki no they no one know or say uncle but or say because what they can't tell that. So he needed to just navigate na onke kambing gumsa. So in some now as a critical analyst watching subsequent to abra yebisa na kwasi okanyina na esebensebunu na okeka onim de na oka and as a mature mind he should have beaten around that particular time and beat a retreat. But Anam sa adwini mo hunting, he went ahead and to go bebre. Yeah. In some now can do na no correct. Scholarship secretariat.
Yeah.
My culture say open one avenue MPP pencil mudidi bonia kasia that particular way. Somebody called me from UK the last time. The gentleman is even in Ghana now.
Yeah.
This through scholarship secretariat, omu issue fake appointment, fake scholarship. Letters in the forum. Minimum about 7 people at the UK embassy are banned for 10 good years because of the scholarship secretariat. Oh yes, yes. Because apart from some more original, they also issue you fake. And MPP core oppositioning. There are letters that has been signed by the previous CEO. Award for scholarship. He can get you copies of some of these things, which the BNI will also be investigating. Abana wa fira kodo. There was scholarship letters signing 2025. Oh yes. So these are fake documents. Some of them are sending it back to the secretariat. Obi oni aban mo sign signature na for eji amamfo sika. So in some na mo kan ekoso. But I can tell you say asafoje enye obi a ono kwatena so cotton scholarship. And sa country na o kan no Germany, your friend say UK, Canada, US. And I'm say a car egu o minus so no. Na say we send them come palm students. Memphis thereby no na say for empty. There has been a directive since NDC took over. Nobody has been awarded a scholarship. All call UK, all call your friend is saying America, and now all call Canada.
Yeah.
Apart from one more order that. And this all say Obi ton scholarship. He is referring to MPP pencil scholarship no more because that was normal when you to Toby.
Now give you what encourage you.
Exactly. And the last time I came here, I brought the documents, about 700-page document. I need now chronon kwana ne wom. As a for J9, so short courses are not more deep chrono. I will come. Nobody's running short courses at our scholarship secretariat. And today, answer now scholarship
short courses and I give you a worry any nikunukoye.
Yes. And can this buy honestly make I say so opportunity as my but and I'm say been general mine who it has been clipped. Yanka betimi aso nipa do mako UK ako guso because ya the car almost the last time it was around $20-something million. Yes. Ya
sika the way.
And because omo dem kra no come to school fees no sika no omo they were also using the office to do visa racketeering. And the amount scholarship na catch say kofa dependent bra. And do timi kofa wo yere no maka ho a na scholarship secretariat tia wo yere na wo maka abra wo papa esua de e UK na school fees na se yetua na yentua na for stipends na se ye de mamo no na ya fa ho na ye je ye ye ton scholarship nipa na answer na wo beba bia no so no ye be make sure say they will take more than 100,000 from each one of you. So it was a money making machine and an AC hall. They were not awarding scholarships. So in their twisted mind, they think that is what is happening now. Anything and some no cannot double so no. But today the gentleman is trying to do everything he can to bring sanity to the place. So that particular place has been under constant investigation since Asafoye took over. Yes. Your friends say national security they are still reviewing their documents in Asaforo. So the last time the documents will go out. Crime now across that particular way. No, I think the Attorney General need to give it a special attention, very special. And crime now also, but it's not under Asafoye. No. Resource do not say scholars do not say no crime because I don't know you're jonkolizing in there. And nothing I say. Abuse no over the years. No, say on 1 year free the presidency.
Yeah.
And the scholarship secretariat is going under the education ministry, where a committee will be set up. Yeah, Makwaku scholarship. Kwaku will need to convince a committee of about 4 or 5 people. And we say your case is genuine. Now me come kwakra and kasa foreign scholarship ni yentwam. Because sika yes say foreign scholarship no. Legon ehie say sika na dia ya but we live in a country where people are so myopic, narrow-minded, and we are so we say because school brochira and the chile say oh yoga. I'm on for brochira by no and you wouldn't no mother ukroma say emura because the prominent universities among for codigi in the popular America. No, how many of you can go? How many Ghanaians and our Harvard? How many Ghanaians and our MIT? How many Ghanaians and what your friend is saying? At that big university, the academy in Krabata, which Legon is far better than most of them. But I'm saying we are so narrow-minded, you know, every outside, Kenya Krakoye degree bakruma, people even respect it more than degree here. But I can tell you that there are a bunch of intellectuals in this particular country. Because education sometimes is not about facility. It is about you, the individual, availing yourself to the institution and making yourself better. You don't go to university to be taught. You go there to learn. So that is why, because I'm a university, you go in your own terms. Sometimes, your friend is that you look at your needs and how you can use the university resources to address those needs. That is education. But it's not about now. Well, of course, don't na Momo Munya scholars require children. About best 40% they don't go. But the shop baby boxes, Jessica. School one co. Yes, but people were forging documents that they were paying school fees and they were taking the money. People were forging, we said they were paying stipends. I know people whom your friend is saying, Yama almost scholarship, and they catch almost say, Kwasiana, where your mount, Visa Sefako US, your mount Visa Sefako Yuka, over pay stipend. So when you want to know so the stipend that is meant for you will be taken. People were giving scholarship, they didn't go, they were living in Ghana, their stipends were being taken by these people. That's what I'm saying, sir. Attorney General, when they come to your friend says the scholarship secretariat. Oh, here, mere. Sound 7 appear free now. All can only be beyond fanfare or the confessor for J scholarship secretariat. The real officer that Safwaje scholarship secretariat is different from the criminal cartel that they were running. Because Omoba, no. Kwabrane nyada aje ko ho e ko kire kwan a obetimi afaso de hoanye sika. Oh yes, that is how foolish these people can be. Somebody and being smart, you know, he was able to within a short period when you experience our scholarship secretariat as a for Jaya. Because Corona crying no. And on so the investigation. That is why within a short period he was able to pull out a lot of documents. That is how these people use that particular place. So they think it's business as usual. Had the when they down how best scholarship no crowd we are here. We am be for the busian for about uju be 100,000. We sign more the visa more we wasem. That is what they were doing. That is why
can we be na Trump restriction or
because they were just abusing it. They were using the scholarship secretary for visa racketeering. Because Ghana people are desperate. Who catches all 100,000? We use the scholarship secretary to guarantee, and once the scholarship secretariat in the way it's used, they will allow you. So they were rather using it to dish out visas to amount for school no do na anko, and they were pocketing the money. So it's good that President Mahama say one koda na or see investigation enko so. But I'm saying this investigation must delve into the past. Now Niema akosu ni nyina should be brought to the in the beginning. We did our part. We brought the issues.
Yeah.
We think that we have been told the investigation is still ongoing, but I think that they need to speed it up. Because a Nema Akoso scholarship secretariat, we cannot leave it. Asafaje is doing his best to ensure sanity will prevail, and he is even suggesting most of the sika the mama for the amanone scholarship. There are some money can go into the scholarship scheme here at our universities.
Free, stress-free.
Stipend that you obi UK in a month. I bet you 3 students almost school fees are Legon.
How?
Stipend ayadema kwabrane can pay about 3 people almost school fees. Our men can school fees in one sem tuition and as woman kind. Sika ayadema is a jiko didi or console of a fanaba or befana yere or befana nuya de account. So you are not just paying for Yatiti, you are paying for Yatiti's husband, you are paying for Yatiti's 3 children, same class the same way, and your MPP abanso. Yes. Walk on so plane ticket in as a phone, ya show on car terms, scholarship secretariat nature, Bawumia utia. But ya may say, call any of the guys that went to UK, America, that be almost when their car secretariat in a plane ticket man. This will be we are within their own folks. We are party there. But majority of the people who got the scholarship, they paid their own distance. But invoices were raised. Yet companies. More visa consultation in as for 40,000 per head. 400 million per head. And I'm documents and then as for them for. So scholarship secretariat make a book crap. And I think it's good that President Mahama Amun and Young Guso. Now, oh yeah, but my dream said they could have extended to cover Ubia. Yeah. But in Sri Lanka, as I find no office or no surrounding who. And to know, sir, no, he doesn't even have the strength to do that. Because if you fear Bumba, and that is the kind of person he is. So he cannot even imagine doing these things. Because a new to me yet. Exactly. That is why I all try his best just to ensure some sanity will come to the place. People who genuinely deserve the scholarship, he will give it to them. And that is what it should be. And I think the number of people who leave for foreign scholarship, we need to cut it down.
Don't even cancel it as you are saying.
No, you see, they tell Kwame Nkrumah and say that I imagine fold. Ghana. And the idea was that those fold na Ghana here no. Yan send the amount for more unko sianda field. But and amount for the UK law scholarship nutia. And amount for abrochire humanities courses no Nkrumah abain nutia. In fact, so by also my the reason why China has developed, if you go back to the early 90s, now America the state made conscious effort and sponsored their best students to the best universities in America and India. They were in Harvard, they were in MIT, and most of the Chinese professors who are teaching in America, teaching in China, they all schooled in America. So I did a master's program in China.
Yeah.
The professor Anna or her thesis so school in America. Or Canberra for your friend is saying. So they sent these people and later brought them back. People who are leading innovation in America today, who are way CEOs and the tech engineers behind it, they were all trained in America in the 90s. They came back. Yeah, because at that time, that knowledge wasn't available in China. And China is taking over in terms of some of these things. And and emerging field and I wouldn't nipa and your field that ubetimayo no krom field am faso bi ani so field that management management to abonte management. Which aspect of management? Exactly. So AI, robotics, Internet of Things, and areas I imagine as a young food and you send people ahead. When they come back, they impact. Scholarship secretariat, the scholarship outside are losing the essence, are losing the relevance, and I think that it's a model that we need to look at it holistically and critically and see your priorities. Now, Sani no sa GBC for the Sani no Sani ever toy no. Ya kasi ya to aswa say ya na beba. And I'm expecting that Kingsley and other people who led the scholarship secretariat must be investigated. They must be, nobody's accusing them of anything.
Yeah.
They must be investigated. And then ononya kukodro to parliament as if nothing has happened. These things happen in parliament, happen in scholarship secretariats, and as if nothing has happened. I think the IGP, the Special Investigation Team, NIB, and National Security for should speed up on this. The president directive I know said to be carried out swiftly, and I also commend the president. So what's the assembly saying? One moon and young guso, because your casa, your teacher of mine, Sana, you're the teacher of mine. As a president, you don't say it. Now for do arms and then crimes will be committed like we witnessed in recent times.
Yeah.
I don't know because president Nitia can own few PDS and then as a forum. But if the president can hear even something on social media and direct security agencies to go swiftly and investigate a trust ya duru baby na kasa ebubu ya kasare ya kasangu so abaka kra things that will come to benefit all Ghanaians.
Ebenezer also on the investigation pa the ava wujidi because president direct say say omonko investigate Ashanti Gold it ended nowhere or say that one there I say Hanopa. Samira Gabo say Ivan is very brilliant. Kotoka's name dear. It's not good to be there. It was his body that was found there from GBC.
And Ghana, Oko Germany are the biggest airport and welcome to Adolf Hitler's airport.
Oh, God of mercy. William, Monday, Zikuno, or say good work, yeah. Keep it up. Your guest is very intelligent and clearly understands what he is talking about. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia can never become president of Ghana. Alberta anyway say, yeah, my only nightmare is accountability now. We are victim of that bank collapse. If this current administration failed accountability, it will be fireworks. Today, these same people are telling us they want power. For where? We are not in 90s or 2016 anymore. NPP is dead and gone. Yet, accountability is key. All right. Accountability ne dia nkrofonia bre pa. We say dia nkrofonia bre wo ora ho a. Utimu say Attorney General odidi agora Ghana for be chenare. Yade bia ye nyina ye ni di akiri. Ye samre nkrofo no bi kura de demu anka nchen. Ne ye di wie ye wontumi I think Kendra cross examination say what's a ekoso nyina from the prosecution side no omo dia ba wieye me chiremu in the minute the entire chama want to me gina court nyina ne say what the concession ekome ma enkrofo foforo na wo mu ni licenses wono so license kra ma ne kwan so obeye say adwuma no and afa minerals commission kra be issue statement say and that document is an open secret will be anim say baby ano akwa some boyo say one forest wono na ye ma ne kwan say onkoye mining wo ho he was having a pending application which was yet to be signed by the minister and 1 year. Now, no across examination now a course no. Minerals Commission nipa no free wa ba ebedi adanse the ma prosecution side no or jitu mu say na would to meaning kata a was the yes ade no and a company no krampo na or this concession man no or no so na Minerals Commission nimu no wama ye ni nyina wie na lawyer dey appear ko ye mutumi lawyer say person finally submission of no case na say near prosecutor na beka ni nyina no ye nkwase asem case be any logic any she enti judge ne hwe na asem no ombontungu enti judge no ama and the appeal could be 2 weeks submission of no case you know on to court in anim no mo behwem na say if obi kai nyansa na aba wo mu a court no be decide nyansa nim so a omo be ma opinion mo defense enti
yeah,
Ivan baby ya drew hono.
Yeah, I think it's issue Ghana for you much interested in. Because galam say nyame adom na ene akofom
kakra
because of the intervention the ministry airlands and natural resources, the minister, 9 mosques and other the security agencies are collaborating just to ensure we tone down the tide.
Yeah.
Sebeya yensu ano betimi agina the national to preserve the environment. So I think that now the pressure is down. Some activities are going on improve the water na se for no. But the bia mekase accountability is very, very important.
Yeah.
So Ghana ye mra kuni ni na se for no nyina na and your governance system na isi one central thing we cannot override it. Making people account for their crimes.
Yeah.
And in the past, people were forcefully held to be accountable. Yet Kroma, your friends at some point in time, you say chuchi kata akoto we ne na se fonum. Embrana no mu di no kran se bi na mfa kwam. Oti asore dem na yakofa na wasore dem. Obi every airport oba na yakomwa. These people were treated like criminals. In the end of the day, the justice system, whichever way you see it, pronounced them guilty and they were jailed. Ghana for ankasa do ho. Entine emre biadru. Say some individuals through connivance, through whatever, bia ema oman no ebo ka eseye japade ehwere nema. It is only right and just. Because my culture said the only reasons Ghana for DLI so got to about 2024 because of the criminal orchestrations in Nema Koso Kroma. And Untumi and his people were part of it. And this Mrena Daniel now baya back not such accountability. Your friend is saying we know has been set emotional. Ghana Nibia was what they are following. And so over here reaction from social media, even where they sense a slow pace on the part of the Attorney General, look at the way they come at him. You understand? Yeah. Sure, say the average Ghanaian is so much interested in these issues. And when to me issue way, Maka, and this case I'm ready to prosecute no. Senkana Kufuado a serious president of Basoba Suma Maya and call no mumness and prosecute to me. Because the red flags were raised during his time.
Yeah.
Kwekubako was out there, he spoke to the issues. The Minerals Commission at the time, the CEO said quite clearly, Omunyama wouldn't to me. Your friend said license at the time. Now I applied there, but it had at the time not been approved.
Yeah.
These were public knowledge. These people were out there. Emma, Omunu Kwekubako Krenya Sem, and the Minerals Commission CEO Nusubenya Sem. As some no cost back and forth as a responsible president at the time. Oba tenants no prosecuting Nipano. Yeti and so could so for program and say when never be a could say woman and so for up baby mosia or nim fadia. And a president lied to the people of this country. Say, won't to me enya she na man for na can symptoms. So when indeed investigation being who a president at the time, it means he was in just to clear the people, and that's exactly what he did. And Tisenka or take it that step now. And Kanye and your prosecutor wouldn't to me. And Kabianki a dinner summer or Demin Sawam, maybe a block number 3, what Jenna dying quad. But here we are revisiting same issue. So I think that is in order. And the prosecution, maybe they should speed up everything. I know the wheels of justice are grinding slowly. Yes, that is appreciated. But they should also understand that we are in the political circles. Sentiment and passions on the side of the people demanding accountability is on the high side. So government need to match the public energy in dishing out this particular justice. Whenever there is a disconnect between public passion, energy, and the pace, prosecution, you lose the people. And in politics and in governance, you must not be on the other side of the people. Ebasa, government, will drop. And that's exactly what we don't want to happen. So, to me, the case are quite obvious. But they say, democracy in their practice, you cannot just presume. said the person is guilty. Even wherever you presume, no, that presumption is rebuttable in the face of the law. Is the reason why he has been given that chance to go to court. Now you making sure say sa bone a mudi o man no forest enyo maame de forest enyo papa de na enyo wo nana ne wuye no odijaw that forest utimi twetwa ne sebi banche echama amanfo because sa na no mo ye no na wo wira fi se John ebe wuo Ghana ya forest achemota forest otimi twetwa de chema ne wo fase no
we are not the forever
eto tuo e de ma omo say omba so mbaji a to ku omo because omo oweli tuo kan ho yes in the world now ode ya fa ne say forest no mo omo no ode forever kan ho no e na osandi etuo san kan ho yes mo fa mo ho ban NDC for oba no mo kasa mo ba baji a mo so you see the mindset of these people they say Ghana and they say but these people have never done anything in the interest of this country. Everything whenever they are in power they destroy, whenever they are in opposition they become saboteurs, and that is the nature of these people. Abraham Kwame Nkrumah built the dam, no? They did demonstration across this country so Kwame Nkrumah was still sika they here dime. It is on record. Kwame Nkrumah si motorway. Omo ka kire ne say motorway ya ne dan. Enti koko fuosika na ya di si motorway. Omo mprema ya mfa Ghana sika ensi motorway. Independence kwa ya je no. Obunya da age tro letter koma ohema ne say hey, when I also be my independence no. Ye nyanduru ho. We are not mature enough to be independent. Enti independence no omo nje emfiri ensam. Oh, we are not ready. But Kwame Nkrumah and others persisted. Today, these people shamefully celebrate Independence Day celebration. So that is their nature. Whenever they get opportunity, they perceive a mind or moja padia, so they can use it to do whatever they want. And so what is playing out. And they are about team. So what my forest. Now we chama man for. Now we just commission. Bosume swan brami gold 150 gram. Bosume swan mami way. But when you know say I didn't know what yet. Timinya kukodro swa soja for kuguram. And they were protecting this criminal, our forest. He was destroying virgin forest in this country. It got to a time. Now, these characters had the moral infantry chastising Mahama government. Say, Galam say no on fighting ye. Forest, forest. The name is Forest Reserve. Yeah. Mutiminya kukodro emu almost bear nipa kugu almost bear 43 money you to say no. Emu 9 there, now they completely took over. Because President today, your friend is saying legislation so they can go and destroy the forest. Now we know man boy obedi sa niema we ani kwan wo. So I think that I'm looking forward to Obia. Oba can't say what is going on witch hunting. Yeah. Your boni omodi and hunsun so play out. And the same thing Adubwa in case is also going, and several other cases abaya tietie ya okobo national service for kronoi onunso ne de eka ho bi. You see, these are people boni omodi di oman no. We can never forget. And as a Ghana need transe na o kaisa sa nkrofo da so na makwa na essential bufuo. But democracy na ya obey ne den. So the Attorney General has a job to do. Yeah. These people must be